There will be many who say this change is not possible. But remember, this Israel is the most powerful country in this region. Israel has the unshakable support of the most powerful country in the world. Israel. Is not going anywhere. Israel has the wisdom to see the world as it is. But this is in your nature. Israel also has the courage to see the world as it should be. Ben-Gurion once said, in Israel, in order to be a realist you must believe in miracles. Sometimes, the greatest miracle is recognizing that the world can change. That's a lesson that the world has learned from the Jewish people. And that brings me to the final area that I'll focus on, prosperity, and Israel's broader role in the world. I know that all the talk about security and peace can sometimes seem to dominate the headlines. But that's not where people live. And every day, even amidst the threats that you face. Israelis are defining themselves by the opportunities that you're creating. Through talent and hard work, Israelis have put this small country at the forefront of the global economy. Israelis understand the value of education and have produced 10 Nobel laureates. Israelis understand the power of invention, and your universities educate engineers and inventors. And that spirit has led to economic growth and human progress. Solar power and electric cars. Bandages and prosthetic limbs that save lives, stem cell research and new drugs that treat disease. Cell phones and computer technology that changed the way people around the world live. So if people want to see the future of the world economy, they should look at Tel Aviv, home to hundreds of start-ups and research centers. Israelis are so active on social media that every day seem to bring a different Facebook campaign about where I should give this speech. That innovation is just as important to the relationship. Between the United States and Israel as our security cooperation. Our first free trade agreement in the world was reached with Israel, nearly 3 decades ago. Today the trade between our two countries is at $40 billion every year. More importantly, that partnership is creating new products and medical treatments. It's pushing new frontiers of science and exploration. That's the kind of relationship that Israel should have and could have with every country in the world. Already, we see how that innovation could reshape this region. There's a program here in Jerusalem that brings together young Israelis. And Palestinians to learn vital skills in technology and business. An Israeli and Palestinian have started a venture capital fund to finance Palestinian start-ups. Over 100 high-tech companies have found a home on the West Bank, which speaks to the talent and entrepreneurial spirit of the Palestinian people. One of the great ironies of what's happening in the broader region is that so much of what people are yearning for, education, entrepreneurship, the ability to start a business without paying a bribe, the ability to connect to the global economy, those are things that can be found here in Israel. This should be a hub for thriving regional trade, and an engine for opportunity. Israel is already a center for innovation that helps power the global economy. And I believe that all of that potential for prosperity can be enhanced with greater security. Enhanced with lasting peace. Here, in this small strip of land that has been the center of so much of the world's history. So much triumph and so much tragedy, Israelis have built something that few could have imagined 65 years ago. Tomorrow, I will pay tribute to that history at the grave of Herzl, a man who had the foresight to see the future of the Jewish people had to be reconnected to their past, at the grave of Rabin. Who understood that Israel's victories in war had to be followed by the battles for peace, at Yad Vashem. Where the world is reminded of the cloud of evil that can descend on the Jewish people and all of humanity if we ever fail to be vigilant. We bear all that history on our shoulders. We carry all that history in our hearts. Today, as we face the twilight of Israel's founding generation, you, the young people of Israel, must now claim its future. It falls to you to write the next chapter in the great story of this great nation. And as the president of a country that you can count on as your greatest friend. I am confident that you can help us find the promise in the days that lie ahead. And as a man who's been inspired in my own life by that timeless calling within the Jewish experience Tikkun Olam, I am hopeful that we can draw upon what's best in ourselves to meet the challenges that will come. to win the battles for peace in the wake of so much war. And to do the work of repairing this world. That's your job. That's my job. That's the task of all of us. May God bless you. May God bless Israel. May God bless the United States of America. Todarabah. One. Thank you. One. Thank you very much or many thanks. Barack Obama. Jewish American Heritage Month Address. Delivered May 22, 2015, Adass Israel Congregation, Washington, D. C. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. Audience, good morning. President Obama, a slightly early Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank Rabbi Steinlaut for the very kind introduction. And to all the members of the congregation, thank you so much for such an extraordinary and warm welcome. I want to thank a couple of outstanding members of Congress who are here. Senator Michael Bennet. Where did Michael Bennet go? There he is. And Representative Sandy Levin, who is here. I want to thank our Special Envoy to Combat Anti-Semitism, Ira Foreman, for his important work. There he is. But as I said, most of all I want to thank the entire congregation of Adass Israel for having me here today. Earlier this week, I was actually interviewed by one of your members, Jeff Goldberg. And Jeff reminded me that he once called me the first Jewish president. But I was flattered. And as an honorary member of the tribe, not to mention somebody who's hosted 7 White House Seders and been advised by 2 Jewish chiefs of staff. I can also proudly say that I'm getting a little bit of the hang of the lingo. Now, I wanted to come here to celebrate Jewish American Heritage Month because this congregation like so many around the country, helps us to tell the American story. And back in 1876, when President Grant helped dedicate a Das Israel, he became the first sitting president in history to attend a synagogue service. And at the time, it was an extraordinarily symbolic gesture not just for America, but for the world. And think about the landscape of Jewish history. Tomorrow night, the holiday of Shavuot marks the moment that Moses received the Torah at Mount Sinai, the first. Link in a chain of tradition that stretches back thousands of years, and a foundation stone for our civilization. Yet for most of those years, Jews were persecuted, not embraced by those in power. Many of your ancestors came here fleeing that persecution. The United States could have been merely another destination in that ongoing diaspora. But those who came here found that America was more than just a country. America was an idea. America stood for something. As George Washington wrote to the Jews of Newport, Rhode Island, the United States gives to bigotry no sanction, to persecution no assistance. It's important for us to acknowledge that too often in our history we fell short of those lofty ideals in the legal subjugation of African Americans through slavery and Jim Crow, the treatment of Native Americans. And far too often, American Jews face the scourge of anti-Semitism here at home. But our founding documents gave us a North Star, our Bill of Rights. Our system of government gave us a capacity for change. And where other nations actively and legally might persecute or discriminate against those of different faiths. This nation was called upon to see all of us as equal before the eyes of the law. When other countries treated their own citizens as wretched refuse. We lifted up our lamp beside the golden door and welcomed them in. Our country is immeasurably stronger because we did. From Einstein to Brandeis, from Jonas Salk to Betty Friedan. American Jews have made contributions to this country that have shaped it in every aspect. And as a community, American Jews have helped make our union more perfect. The story of Exodus inspired oppressed people around the world in their own struggles for civil rights. From the founding members of the NAACP to a Freedom Summer in Mississippi, from women's rights to gay rights to workers' rights. Jews took the heart of biblical edict that we must not oppress a stranger, having been strangers once ourselves.